This driveway came with my house, my property taxes, and my name on the deed. Then my HOA decided it was a perfect place for their guests to park. The first letter politely informed me that my driveway would now be considered guest parking. I thought it was a mistake. At the HOA meeting, I asked one simple question. Where does the rule say you own my driveway? Nobody had an answer. I showed them the property map. My driveway was clearly part of my lot, not common property. The next morning, I found a parking sign at the entrance. They had gone from making demands to physically marking my property. By Saturday, cars started showing up because the HOA had apparently told people they could use my driveway. I stood there and watched. She told me the driveway was being shared for community convenience. I reminded her that convenience doesn't transfer property ownership. Then came another notice demanding that I keep the driveway available during neighborhood events. That was when I stopped treating this like a misunderstanding. I checked every document I could find. The more I read, the clearer it became my driveway was private. So I decided the driveway needed one thing the HOA couldn't argue with: a clearly visible private property boundary. I would have everything handled properly before the next morning. I didn't hide anything. The boundary was visible, marked, and impossible to misunderstand. I waited for dawn, not because I wanted trouble, but because I wanted everyone to see exactly what the driveway looked like in daylight. She arrived before breakfast. The look on her face told me she hadn't expected me to stand my ground. Then one of the HOA's guests arrived in a bright red sports car. They acted as if my driveway was still available. The driver finally realized the entrance was closed to unauthorized parking. Nobody was hurt, but suddenly the entire situation became very real. Neighbors gathered around the street. For the first time, everyone could see exactly who was trying to use whose property. She demanded that I remove the boundary immediately. I simply asked her to show me the rule, giving the HOA control over my driveway. I handed her the survey. Her argument became a lot quieter after she saw the actual property lines. Then another board member arrived with the bylaws. He read the section everyone had been ignoring. There was a long silence. The driveway wasn't community property, and everyone finally knew it. One by one, the cars left. The guest parking area disappeared without a single HOA vote. Then came the moment I had been waiting for. The HOA sign came down. For the first time in weeks, my driveway was quiet again. It looked exactly the way it was supposed to look. Mine. At the next meeting, the board officially discussed the property boundaries. Suddenly, the word guest parking disappeared from every conversation. Several neighbors apologized. They admitted they had believed the HOA's version without ever checking the facts. The final letter was short. The HOA confirmed that my driveway was private and would no longer be used for guest parking. She walked past my house one last time. This time, she didn't say a word. My driveway went back to being boring. And honestly, boring felt pretty great. The lesson wasn't about parking. It was about knowing where your property ends and refusing to let someone else pretend they own it. Sometimes the strongest answer isn't yelling. It's knowing your rights and standing your ground. Like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from.